reverse this logic and talk about what might happen if the tax is levied on buyers. Now remember what the height of the demand curve measures. Okay? The height of the demand curve measures the maximum price that buyers are willing to pay for a particular unit of output. In this case, my original demand curve, D, which is shaded relatively lightly here, the light blue curve, tells me that before a tax has been imposed, okay, buyers were willing to pay $5 at most for the 100th pack. Okay, that's the maximum price that buyers were willing to pay for that 100th pack. What happens if the government decides to levy a $3 tax on cigarettes, not on sellers, but on buyers? Okay, so now from the time that a pack gets sold, it's the buyer's responsibility to write a check to the government. So the legal incidence in this case falls on the buyers now, not the sellers. Okay, so when a $3 tax is levied on buyers, what we see happening is that the demand curve, the maximum price that buyers are willing to pay sellers, falls by $3. So now for this 100th pack, buyers were previously willing to spend at most $5. Now they're willing to spend at most $2 in the marketplace. Now, buyers are still willing to pay $5 a pack. 3 is going to the government, which leaves only $2 left for retailers to actually receive. So the height of the demand curve here measures the maximum price that buyers are willing to pay in the marketplace to retailers. Okay. And again, the question is, well, if buyers' willing to pay falls by $3, what happens to the actual price of cigarettes? Does it also fall by $3? Probably not, because supply curves are upward sloping. So again, initially at a price of 5 and a quantity of 100, we were at equilibrium. Now the demand curve falls by $3 because buyers aren't willing to pay sellers as much for cigarettes, because 3 of those $5 are going to go to the government. So buyers are willing to pay at most $2 for that 100 pack of cigarettes. Well, at a price of $2, sellers aren't so keen on selling 100 packs of cigarettes anymore. In fact, given this example, I'm going to assume that sellers are only willing to sell 50 packs of cigarettes. So if buyers are really only willing to pay $2 a pack, yeah, they're going to demand 100 packs at that price, but sellers will only be willing to sell 50. That's going to lead to a shortage. Now, eventually, a shortage gets corrected in the marketplace when buyers compete with one another by bidding up the price. And as we can see from this example, the new market clearing price is going to be somewhere in between 5 and 2, where supply and demand intersect. I'm going to say $3.50. So some new post-tax market clearing price is going to be at $3.50, and some quantity maybe $75. Now, the question is this the price that buyer and seller both pay and receive, respectively? Well, a price of $3.50 is definitely going to be the price that the seller receives. Again, I'm walking to 7-Eleven. I ask the clerk for a pack of cigarettes. The clerk says $3.50, that's the market price. I pay the clerk $3.50. His or her job is done. I take my cigarettes home with me, but now as a buyer, I need to write a check to the government for $3 more. So even though I pay $3.50 at the counter, I have to pay $3 more to the government. So the price that I actually pay, my PB, okay, is $6.50. And the price that the seller receives, that's $3.50. It's the exact same example as we had before. The tax itself, okay, which is the difference between $6.50 and $3.50, and it's denoted by this green line, okay, is just PB minus PS. $6.50 minus $3.50.